All right, you guys, let's talk about some other rules of exponents. That's why I want you in chapter 12, lesson 5. Okay, so take a look at this. It says to find the power of a product, find the power of each factor and multiply. So I kind of look at it like rainbows. Okay, take a look at this. The quantity AB to the m power. I put it over here. And then I use my red, I circle the power, and I draw two rainbows. So basically the little power of m is going to go to the a and to the b. So this becomes a to the m power times b to the m power. And I wrote it over here. So you could do the same thing with numbers. If I circled the 2 in red and I drew two rainbows, that would be 3 to the second power times 4 to the second power. Okay, then the power of a quotient property, it's the same idea. It's like rainbows. You just give it to the top of the fraction and the bottom of the fraction. So look at, in parentheses, I have a over b to the m power. So I circle the m in red and I draw two rainbows. So this becomes a to the m power over b to the m power. And it works with numbers as well. 4 to the 5th power over 7 to the 5th power. Okay, take a look right here. It says power of a power property. So to find the power of a power, multiply the exponents. So if I have a to the m power and then they say raised to the n power, I just use my red and I circle the m and the n. And see that little part of parentheses? That's how I remember to multiply. So it's a to the m times n power. And then take a look at the numbers. I have 7 to the second power raised to the third power. So I grab my red and I circle the 2 and the parentheses and the 3. So that becomes 7 to the 2 times 3. So that's 7 to the 6th power. Okay, take a look at example 1. So I have letter A. In parentheses, I have 3y to the second power. So I use my red and I circle the power of 2 and I draw two rainbows. So that's 3 to the second times y to the second. Well, 3 to the second power is just 9, and I bring down the y to the second. So it's 9y to the second power. And then take a look at b. I have in parentheses negative 4b and all of that to the third power. So use your red and circle the 3 and draw two rainbows. So I'd write it as negative 4 to the third power. Notice how negative 4 stays in parentheses. Very important. Times b to the third power. Well, then write this out. So it's negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, b to the third power. Well, negative 4 times negative 4 is 16, and 16 times negative 4 is negative 64, b to the third power. Okay, take a look at example 2. Simplify the expression. So in parentheses, r over s, all to the 8th power. So with your red, circle the 8 and draw two rainbows, one to the r, one to the s. So this becomes r to the 8th power over s to the 8th power. And that's as far as you can take it. Okay, look at b. In parentheses, I have negative 5 over d, all raised to the 4th power. So with your red, I would circle the 4 and draw a rainbow to the negative 5 and a rainbow to the d. So this becomes negative 5 in parentheses to the 4th power over d to the 4th power. So write it out. Negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 over d to the 4th power. Well, that becomes 25 times another 25 is just 625 over d to the 4th power. All right, take a look at example 3, letter A. I have in parentheses 8 to the 4th power, all raised to the 4th power. So if it were me, I'd grab my red and I'd circle the little 4 times 4 here. So that becomes 8 to 4 times 4 power. So that's 8 to the power of 16. Now, notice how I put the word weight next to B. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to go back and finish this after we do another lesson in chapter 4. Okay, wait right here with example 4. We're going to come back and do this later. Leave it blank. All right, let's talk about the checkpoint. It just is going to ask us to simplify. So look at number 1. In parentheses, I have 2z all raised to the 6th power. So with my red, I would circle the 6 and draw two rainbows and then write it out. That means 2 to the 6th power times z to the 6th power. Well, you could multiply 2 to the 6th power out. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, z to the 6th power. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So I have 64z to the 6th power. Look at number 2. In parentheses, I have negative 3q raised to the fifth power. So with my red, I would circle the power of 5 and then draw 2 rainbows. So that gives me negative 3 in parentheses to the fifth power times q to the fifth power. We'll write it out. So negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, q to the fifth power. And when you multiply all of that out, you should get negative 243 q to the fifth power. Take a look at number 3. In parentheses, I have c over d, all raised to the fourth power. So with my red, I circled the 4 and I drew 2 rainbows. That gives me c to the fourth over d to the fourth, and that's as far as you can go. Okay, take a look at number 4. In parentheses, I have negative 5 over g, and then raised to the third power. So with your red, circle the 3 and draw a rainbow to the negative 5 and a rainbow to the g. So you have negative 5 in parentheses to the third power over g to the third power. We'll write it out. Negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. That gives you 25 times negative 5, which is negative 125 over g to the third power. And that's as far as you can go. Okay, and we're just going to do one more right now. Look at number 5. In parentheses, I have 7 to the second power raised to the third power. So with my red, I carefully circled the 2 times 3. So that gives me 7 to the 2 times 3 power. So that's 7 to the 6th power. And you can just box your answer. Now I want you to wait on 6, 7, and 8. We'll come back and talk about that later.